All right, great insight there, gentlemen. Now let's move on to the Johnsonville Juggernauts at By the Grace of Louisville. Bottom line, Peyton Manning is going to continue to carry Louisville. They go to 4-0. What do you think, Anthony?
Johnsonville Juggernauts visit By the Grace of Louisville. Grace of Louisville is a pretty big favorite in this one, and I could easily see By the Grace of Louisville losing if they weren't so good. And I think it's going to come down to I think what's going to boil down to is just Peyton Manning's continued dominance over the Eagles. I think he'll score plenty of touchdowns.
If you are wrong in all the right ways, all the underdogs, we will never be anything but loud and integrated.
Still not sure about Reggie Bush this week, playing against Chicago and being a little bit dinged up. But the difference maker in this matchup is Peyton Manning. I think Peyton Manning will get over 30 points against one of the worst passing defenses in the league right now. And I think he'll bring home the win by the Grace of Louisville against the Juggernauts.
Johnsonville Juggernauts by the Grace of Louisville. Surprisingly, the projections are staggeringly in Grant's favour here. And maybe it's just out of bad spirits, but I'm going to pick the Juggernauts to pull it out. I think Reggie Bush and Victor Cruz are the real Achilles heel here for the Grace of Louisville, and though the nincompoops couldn't take advantage of it, I believe it'll cost Grant this week. Juggernauts. I haven't thought it out. I'm too depressed for Team of the Week. I'll leave it to Anthony to pick his Team of the Week and do the dancing.
So raise your glass if you are wrong in all the right ways, all the underdogs. We will never be anything but loud and integrated, dirty little freaks. Won't you come on and raise your glass? Just come on and raise your glass. Come on and raise your glass.
Cheers to you, By the Grace of Louisville. Good luck.
All right, moving right along, we have Liquored Up Kicker at the North of Nowhere Nincompoops. Now, I think David Wilson's going to be the difference in this one. That's right, David Wilson will carry Liquored Up Kicker to victory.
Here are my thoughts on this one. In this one, we have Liquored Up Kicker visiting North of Nowhere. The Poops are on a 2-game skid. They look to turn things around, as do half of Dominic's team. Kaepernick and Gore, Hopkins, Daniels, Foster, both the Houstons and the Niners look to get back on track this week. I think they do. Houston's going to upset Seattle, believe it or not. I'm going to take the Poops to win this battle of the disappointments.
Although Frank Gore and Colin Kaepernick are playing against St. Louis this week, who they tend to struggle against, and DeAndre Hopkins and Owen Daniels are facing off against one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the league in Seattle, I still think the Nincompoops can come out with a win. I still don't trust Liquored Up Kickers running back CJ Spiller or David Wilson.
Heartaches, heartaches, my loving you meant only heartache.
The Nincompoops lost in the lowest scoring game I've ever seen in my life. It was terrible, and I'm picking them to lose again this week to the Kicker. The Kicker is a champion. Unlike these Poops, they're terrible, and I believe the Kicker will win. It'll come down to the coaches, and Harbaugh, he won't be able to pull it out. Come on, Harbaugh, what are you thinking?
All right, next we have House of Pain visiting the San Antonio Angry Ants at the Ant Colony. Now, I think this is going to be a close game. House of Pain is definitely on the rise, but the Angry Ants are going to pull this one out, and it's going to be based on the points that Darren McFadden earns them. Darren McFadden's the difference for the Angry Ants. What do you think, Anthony?
Are my thoughts on this one. We have Khalil No Regrets Powell facing the Titans defense. I think the Titans D is going to keep Powell contained this week. I also believe this matchup is going to come down to the Saints on Monday night. I think Graham and Sproles get enough points from Breeze to make the Ants the winner in this one.
The Angry Ants running backs are going to dominate House of Pain's running backs, but House of Pain's receivers are going to dominate the Angry Ants receivers, which kind of leads us to the QB and tight end situation. I think Drew Brees will do better than Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford will struggle a little bit against Chicago. And I'm also going to pick Julius Thomas over Jimmy Graham, even though Jimmy Graham's had kind of a hot streak. But I think Julius Thomas will do good against Philadelphia, and I think that's a difference maker this week. I'm going to go with the sleeper, and I'm going to pick House of Pain.
In a good old-fashioned game here, a game you like to see, the red and the black going at it. What I see here is, if Anthony doesn't change his lineup, I don't think he's going to pull out the victory. Ben's running backs have been the source of his troubles, but I think Julio Jones and Drew Brees will have some big weeks here, and if Anthony doesn't take out Aaron Dobson and Jay Cutler, I think he'll lose. I'm going to go with the House of Pain.
Lastly, we have the belly-aching Jamaicans at the Austin Achy Men. Now, as you can see here, the Achy Men are definitely taking some great rolls of the dice here, I guess you'd call them, playing some questionable starters, but the way we look at it, we're going to have to take some chances if we're going to beat this mighty team from Jamaica that's sporting 2 number 1 picks and really top to bottom the best team in the league. The only way the Jamaicans don't win this game is if Tommy can't get out of his own way. That's the way it's going to go the rest of the season, as a matter of fact. The Jamaicans should win it all. What do you think, Anthony?
Here are my thoughts on this one. The belly-aching Jamaicans visit Austin to take on the Achy Men. In this one, I think the difference comes down to newly acquired quarterback at the helm, Robert Griffin III. I think Robert Griffin gets on track, gets the Skins their first win this week, and puts up big numbers against Oakland. I think that's the difference. Questionable quarterback play from the Achy Men. I think Robert Griffin's the edge.
The belly-aching Jamaicans look to beat the undefeated Austin Achy Men this week. The belly-aching Jamaicans receivers are just on a whole nother level than the Austin Achy Men's. Look for Des Bryant and Calvin Johnson to get over 30 points and the belly-aching Jamaicans to win by 30 points.
Now let's have a look at what I think is the game of the week. The giants of the league, aside from the Cowtown Rebels and the Graceland Lulu Birds. We must tip our hats to them. But the 2 other powerhouses show down here, the belly-aching Jamaicans and the Austin Achy Men. Looking at the matchups here, both teams are employing this tactic that maddens me. So we have to look at their bench and see what's happening. I happen to believe that Tom will come through with the win here come Sunday. Which Tom, you ask? And I tell you, it's Tommy. And the guys on Buffaloes know. The team name is the Money-Making Jamaicans.
We look forward to seeing you in Week 5. Now we're going to leave you with some highlights from last week's action. Thank you again for joining us.